Roderick told you that you must travel to the fabled Glastonbury, where Morgana Le Fay, Merlin's most talented apprentice, is defending the former monastery from the Fomorians. You have to find Morgana and persuade her that she should help you find her master. But beware, she is dangerous and craves power. The journey to Glastonbury is heavy going over the once verdant Salisbury Plain. Finally, you reach the marshland and walk in the fog until you see the black mass of the monastery. This is where you have to stop. A magical wall keeps away every living creature. You've never seen such powerful magic. If you want to break through this impenetrable wall, you will have to use the strongest artifact in your possession, the Shard of the Grail. You bend the power of the artifact to your will and use it to pierce through the invisible barrier. You feel the seething energies of the shard dissipate faster than it can weaken the protection. If the shard loses its powers, the wall will crush you. You could pour all its remaining energies into a final blast, but it could kill the wizard who maintains the wall. When you force the power of the shard against the wall, a piercing pain blinds you immediately and you stumble to the ground. When you open your eyes, you realize with a shock that you can't feel the power of the Grail anymore. At least the wall is gone. You can walk to Glastonbury. The former monastery is a sprawling complex of towers and separate buildings, surrounded by a makeshift village and a military camp. There is something clearly magical about this place, and now you understand why this place is so important for both believers and wizards alike. When you reach the first tent, guards appear from the fog. They seem suspicious, but they are not hostile. They take you to one of the grim towers in the fog, where you meet the most beautiful woman you've ever seen. She's wearing elaborate robes and eyes you coldly. She introduces herself as Morgana Le Fay. Her voice is strong, and it's clear that she's used to giving orders. Now she demands to know why you are here and how you got through the defenses. For a while, Morgana remains silent. You wait patiently while she ponders the situation. "If you want my help," she says finally without a trace of emotion, "you must first assist me in protecting Glastonbury. The defenses are weakening every day, and if I leave, they'll crumble." "I tried to destroy that accursed Fomorian mound in Dumnonia," snaps Morgana. "But I failed and paid a huge price for my hubris. I lost most of my men. I bound my powers to a crystal to close the gate to the other world. It's still there. I need you to find it for me." "I find your constant suspicion irksome, son of Arthur," says Morgana coldly. "I'll do anything to find Merlin, because I need my master to teach me all the greatest secrets of magic. The promise I made you has nothing to do with it. But first, I need my powers back." Morgana gives you a sour look. "You don't have to bring the crystal to me. Quite the opposite. You must destroy it immediately. Throw it into the Fomorian gate or eradicate it with a spell. If it's destroyed, the arcane energy bound to it will flow back to me." Morgana shrugs. "First, I will gather a new army and make some preparations. If I recover my powers, I'll immediately set out to find the Lady of the Lake.
This ancient entity has a very strong connection with Merlin, but it will be a dangerous task, even with my powers intact.
You spend some time asking Morgana about important details concerning the wasteland in Dumnonia, the Formorian Mound, and the hordes guarding it. Then you leave the monastery and return to your army.
Let's see how good you are at keeping your promises, son of Pendragon. Are you ready to help this damsel in distress like the true knight you claim to be? If so, Dumnonia awaits. Kill the Fomorians lurking in the mounds and destroy the crystal that their chieftain took from me. And if you still doubt my word, don't forget that I am half she, and thus bound to keep my promises. If I recover my powers, I shall immediately set out to find Merlin.
Yes, my lord.
spell has been cast. Your spell was absorbed. Your spell was absorbed. Has been cast. Your spell was absorbed. Your spell was absorbed. The enemy hero is casting a spell. The enemy has cast a spell. The enemy has cast a spell. A spell has been cast.
Fire!
The enemy hero is casting a spell. The enemy has cast a spell. The enemy hero is casting a spell. Your magic shield is under normal strength. Your magic shield is fading. A spell was cast. cast. The enemy has cast a spell. Victory is near. The enemy has cast a spell.
Greetings, my lord Pendragon. King Bertram, the ruler of Somerset, sends his compliments and requires your immediate attention in a matter of utmost importance. I can't divulge much, but it concerns the blight of the Fomorians.
Somerset is the home of the wandering monks who seek knowledge and enlightenment across all of Britannia. Since the Fomorians flooded the realm, many of their normal routes have been closed, and they are hungry for every piece of knowledge they can find.
Ready to serve.
Your magic shield is under normal strength. magic shield is failing. The enemy started to capture one of your locations. Enemy units have captured a location.
My lord, I bring unexpectedly good news. Sir Lawrence, a former knight of Camelot, has arrived at Heartwood Keep. He was thought to be dead, but as it turns out, he was only imprisoned in the Welsh borderlands and has recently managed to escape. He's eager to join you on your quest, and has also brought us a significant piece of news. He says he witnessed a large battle raging in Paris, and believes that it may mean that King Daffy is in need of assistance.
Ready to serve. Yes, my lord. Yes, my liege. Ready to serve.
You hear disturbing rumors from the court of King Bertram, and you suspect that the possessed mortal slaves of the Fomorians are behind the recent disturbances in this tiny province. Your fears seem justified when King Bertram sends a messenger and requests that you ride there immediately to discuss important matters with him. King Bertram's province is surrounded by a scorched wasteland, and his shrunken domain is only guarded by makeshift defenses and tired soldiers. When you get close to the town, a small group of grim riders welcome you. To your surprise, they don't escort you to the royal palace, but to a military camp where King Bertram awaits you in his tent. When you enter, you don't see the king, only lines of soldiers. The situation hardly resembles a negotiation. Stay calm! You hear a raspy voice from the shadows, and when you turn around, you see something terrible. King Bertram himself. His skin is covered with ugly boils, which is a clear indication that he's becoming possessed. His eyes still look clear though, and he seems undoubtedly peaceful. Bertram begins with an apology. He is awfully sorry that he had to deceive you, but a few months ago he was forced to make a hard decision. His kingdom was on the verge of capitulation when a lone Fomorian arrived and offered him a proposition he could not refuse. The creature proposed a magic ritual to make the army stronger. All he asked was Bertram's palace and the prisoners held inside the dungeon. The king was too desperate. He accepted the offer, though he did not know if the ritual turned the subjects into the possessed. I could be if he wanted, he says. But it seems that it's not my kingdom he's interested in, but his secret deeds. He locked himself in the dungeons and rarely comes out to give me new orders. The dungeon must be his safe haven, because it is immensely huge. It has several exits, and it is defended by a number of ancient defense methods. I don't know anything about his plans for the prisoners, but I am sure that they are nothing good. I want to get rid of my guest. I am powerless against him, but with my help you will be able to defeat him. If you are willing to help, I can let you in through a secret tunnel, but you must go alone, or else the palace guards will alarm the demon. Looks like you have to fight the Fomorian on your own, but you don't let doubts weaken your mind. You prepare to fight. You buckle on your sword and put on your armor, then clear your mind. When you are ready, it occurs to you that divine powers might help you. When you are ready, Bertram's man escorts you to the secret entrance. Following his advice, you avoid the traps and soon reach the lair. You wait and listen at the door before you go in. You hear someone moving inside. You grab your sword, take a deep breath, and open the door. You storm inside and look around. A thin, tall Fomorian stands in the middle of the room. Your arrival obviously took him by surprise. You also see a table crammed with vials of various colors. There are short blades on a sword stand to his right, and a cauldron filled with burning oil. You see a strange mirror in the left corner behind the Fomorian. Occasionally soft ripples run through the surface. The Fomorian suddenly gulps down the contents of the orange-colored vial, and you see his movements speed up. He glances at the mirror, then at the weapons. Your sword spins through the room and knocks over the mirror right in front of the Fomorian, shattering it into pieces. When he sees that you are unarmed, he hurries to the weapon stand and reaches for a sinister-looking dagger. He steps towards you. You wait a moment to make sure your spell takes him by surprise. Then you suddenly summon a sphere which emits a blinding light. It's a powerful spell, so you manage to kill the defenseless Fomorian with his own dagger almost effortlessly. You have defeated the Fomorian, and now you have to decide Bertram's fate. The king is surrounded by his possessed soldiers, and he obviously doesn't think that you will let him live. One of his messengers is still waiting for your answer, though. After the death of the Fomorian, Bertram and his soldiers are free from his nefarious influence, although their hideous appearance remains the same. The king assures you of his friendship and gives you resources and valuable artifacts as a token of his gratitude.
Yes, my liege. On my way.
The enemy hero is casting a spell. Your magic shield is under normal strength. Your spell was absorbed. The enemy hero is casting a spell. A spell has been cast. Your units are in danger. Your spell was absorbed. The enemy has cast a spell. Your spell was absorbed. Your spell was absorbed. Your spell was absorbed. The enemy has cast a spell. the enemy started to capture one of your locations. Your spell was absorbed. Your spell was absorbed. A spell was cast.
Fire!
Your soldiers are going to die. Your soldiers are going to die. The enemy has cast a spell. A spell was cast.
On my way.
I come with grave tidings, my lord. We took away the Fomorian corpses, cleaned the area, and waited for the Nethergate to close after you performed the sealing ritual. But it did not happen. The Shard must have lost its power to close the gates after you penetrated the mighty defenses of Glastonbury. We desperately need to stop the Horde swarming through the portal into Britannia. Go to Meacham and ask the help of the former Guardians of the Grail. They might be able to help restore its power.
Ready to serve. On my way.
I've made all the necessary preparations, Sir Pendragon, and now I'm ready to begin my quest to find Merlin, just as I promised. First, I will travel to see the legendary Lady of the Lake. She is a creature of dreams and prophecies, and she may know where Merlin might be found. I also suspect that she was the last one to see my master. Alas, I have heard disturbing rumors about the lake, claiming that the place became a nightmarish land, swarming with Fomorians. I expect I'll be called upon to use my considerable powers. Ready to serve. On my way!
Your master Merlin disappeared after the destruction of the Grail and the assassination attempt against King Arthur. You would have been among the first trying to find him, but before you could leave Glastonbury, the Fomorian gates opened close to your sanctuary, and you couldn't risk traveling. Now your only chance is to find the legendary Lady of the Lake, who may know where Merlin could be. The lake where the lady, a creature of dreams and prophecies, used to live is no more. On the empty lakebed, a twisted tower stands, the color of ashes, surrounded by a cloud of swirling smoke. The place reeks of Fomorians, and even here you can feel the presence of the gate to the monstrous realm. The scouts return with a grim-faced man. He was sent here by the Guild of Outlaws to find out how powerful the army of the Fomorian Lord could be. He tells you that you stand no chance against the enemy. You should weaken them before the battle. The man tells you that you should ambush a few smaller Fomorian bands before you turn against their lord. Then he shows you some of the places where you could attack them. These places must be important to the monsters, the nodes of magic. Your troops hastily get ready for the mission, and soon they disappear into the forest. Then you start to think about your options. You are aware of the strong ties between the Fomorians and the gates, and when you sense the same presence here, you begin to look for magical nodes in the area. According to the scouts and the strange warrior, there are a few. They must be the imprints of the demonic gates. You meet the Fomorians at the gate and immediately order your men to attack them. You clash beneath ashen clouds. It's a tough battle, and for a fleeting moment you doubt that you could win without serious losses. But you eventually defeat them and leave with only minor wounds. You have destroyed the Fomorian Lord and his horde. You leave your army behind and approach the tower in the middle of the column of smoke. You are constantly aware of the threat of the gate, and you have to be quick, because other demons are breaching this world. You call the lady's name, but nobody answers. You wait in the deathly silence. You expected something like this, but it still fills you with emptiness. Suddenly you are certain that the Lady of the Lake is dead or has left forever. After a lengthy search, you find some water in a puddle, which is no more than 2 steps long. An old runestone stands in the middle, so maybe this is the reason that this little body of water is still there, in spite of the presence of Fomorian magic. You fill your flask with water, then you stand up. You have found what you were looking for. The tower is a twisted and evil place. Its hallways are too big and too dark, and the angles seem all wrong. You walk aimlessly for a long time, but in the end you reach a hall on the top floor. It's still dark, but you feel that you might have found what you are looking for. You stumble around in the smoke and find 2 dead Unseelie warriors killed by magic. You also find a scrying bowl, a very rare magical item. You take it, but you know that first you must fill it with water from the lake. You are horrified to see that the water turns red without the runestone. It's as red as fresh blood, and monstrous eyes appear in the depths of the scrying bowl, staring back at you. There is an unnatural creature in the tower, and it's aware of you now. Getting out of the tower takes much longer than the getting in, but finally you reach the sad remains of the lake. The scrying pool shows you images and even relays feelings. You see Merlin, who visited the Lady of the Lake, but he was ambushed. You recognize the attacker. It is Nimue, the infamous Unseelie sorceress. The struggle between the 2 powerful wizards raged on for a full day. The only way Nimue could triumph was to attack the Lady of the Lake, which forced Merlin to sacrifice himself to save her. The Unseelie then took him prisoner and took him away. You are at the foot of the tower, where a group of Fomorian monsters attack you. You fight them with steel and magic, but there are too many of them, and the last battle has left you weakened. You fight them with all your might, and in the end you win the fight against them, but you have received serious wounds. You leave the vicinity of the damned gate as fast as you can. As soon as you leave the accursed tower, you go to Viraconium, the formerly mortal city, now the seat of the She Council. You may find Nimue there, and maybe you can free Merlin, your master.
You must admit, young Pendragon, that it was a wise decision to seek my help. I've returned from the Tower of Ashes and Dreams with the answers you seek. Merlin did indeed visit the lady, but they were ambushed by Nimue. She is a cold-hearted, treacherous, unseelie enchantress, but I must admit that she is powerful. Finally, my master sacrificed himself for the lady, and Nimue took him prisoner. I must go to Viraconium to find out who she's working for and where my master is.
As a proud Welshman, King Dafydd never liked to be a part of Arthur's kingdom, and he was among the first to declare independence when news of Arthur's condition began to spread. However, the cataclysm and the return of the dragons to Wales has changed his tone. He might be ready to negotiate. However, technically he has committed high treason, so he will look upon any overture with mistrust. If you wish to open talks with him, the first step would be an assurance of safety.
Ready to serve. On my way.
Sir, I'm truly impressed by your merciful nature, which is the mark of a true monarch. I know you've tried everything to spare the life of King Bertram. However, it seems that we can't afford mercy in these grave times. The king has finally fallen victim to the vicious plague. The man you knew as King Bertram is gone, and the creature that devoured his soul is busy opening a gate to the netherworld of the Fomorians. You must stop him!
Ready to serve.
Yes, my liege.
The Regent of Medisham has built an extensive trade network across all the remaining regions of Britannia and the territories beyond. This grants them access to weapons and armor that surpass in quality even the masterworks of the smithies in Eboracum. They also trade in rare herbs. If you could make a profitable trade agreement with the Regent, your armies would surely benefit. Are threatening to overrun all the lands. Never before has Britannia faced an invasion on such a terrible scale. And the only way to survive is to form a great alliance between all the new kingdoms. King Cole's son is obsessed with the idea of knighthood. Having grown up in the southern territories of Eboracum, where Roman traditions dominated, he rather decided to become a knight of Britain. His father first opposed the idea, but he has since relented. If you offered him a place among the knights of Arthur's court, you would certainly improve relations between the two kingdoms.
Yes, my lord!
Yes, my lord. On my way.
Your spell was absorbed. The enemy hero is casting a spell. The enemy hero is casting a spell. The enemy hero is casting a spell. Weather conditions changed. The enemy started to capture one of your locations. Your spell was absorbed. Enemy units have captured a location. The enemy hero is casting a spell. A spell was cast. Weather conditions changed. The enemy hero is casting a spell. Your unit is going to die. Your unit is going to die. A spell was cast. The enemy hero is casting a spell. The enemy started to capture one of your locations. The enemy hero is casting a spell. bandits have captured a location. A spell has been cast. The enemy hero is casting a spell. The enemy has cast a spell. A spell was cast. A spell was cast.
Fire!
Your magic shield is under normal strength. A spell has been cast. The enemy has cast a spell. Your men are going to die. A spell has been cast. The enemy has cast a spell. spell has been cast. Your soldiers are going to die. Victory is near.
Fire!
A spell has been cast. A spell has been cast.
Ready to serve. All right. Ready to serve. All right.
Ready to serve. Ready to serve.
Your magic shield is under normal strength.
Fire! Fire!
Your magic shield is fading. The enemy hero is casting a spell.
Fire! Fire!
Your unit is going to die. The enemy hero is casting a spell. 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 Your soldiers are going to die.
Fire!
The enemy hero is casting a spell. The enemy has cast a spell. The enemy hero is casting a spell. danger. The enemy hero is casting a spell. Your hero is in grave danger. A spell was cast. The enemy hero is casting a spell.
Fire!
The enemy hero is casting a spell.
Fire! Fire!
The enemy has cast a spell. Your men are going to die.
Fire!
Your unit is going to die.
On my way.
Yes? On my way!
Not much is known about the state of Wales. Since the Druids lost control of the new generation of dragons they helped to return. It is said that the people of the province are now enslaved to the worms, and anyone venturing into the mountains will suffer the same fate, or worse. Still, the dragons haven't shown much interest in the lands beyond their realm, and so far they have kept to themselves. But now a single dragon has been seen flying near the village of Stratford, causing panic among the people. It hasn't harmed anyone yet, but the village elders beg you to deal with the beast before it becomes hungry.
On my way! Yes?
Ave, heir of Pendragon, we come in peace. We are humble refugees from the Roman lands of Eboracum, fleeing the madness of our self-proclaimed emperor, Septimus Sulla. He has fallen slave to a great power that restored glory to the former Roman provinces, but also cursed him with terrible ambitions. Soon he will march against the southern territories. Before this happens, please accept some words of friendly advice. We have with us the Emperor's wife, Naevia Sulla, who wishes to speak to you.
Ready to serve. Yes, my liege.
Your wish? All right.
Viraconium is called the Crystal Citadel nowadays. It was destroyed by the Fomorians, then reclaimed by the remaining Sidhe. It is a strange mixture of stone walls and crystal towers, patrolled by changelings. The guards at the entrance recognize your lineage, half mortal, half Sidhe, and let you pass without trouble. You have been to both Sidhe courts before, at your master's side, but you know little about them, even less now that they are forced to work together. You hope to gain answers from Yedna the Seer, who despite being a human, lives in the Unseelie court. Nobody knows how the Seer managed to get herself accepted by the Unseelie. But she has lived among them for a long time, so if anyone can help, it's her. They were good friends with Merlin, so she listens to you intently and seems to be willing to help. Nimue is a member of the Sidhe Council now, which means you can't just accuse her. Yedna thinks the only way to confront her is by the challenge of spirit and soul. The trouble is, you are only half Sidhe, which means you will need the support of at least 2 council members. You could try gaining the favor of the Icethorn Prince, although he is not an easy person to reason with. Other than him, the only council member who might be inclined to help you is the Emerald Lady. The Emerald Lady is a mysterious Seelie who used to be the Summer Queen's advisor. It is said her wisdom is boundless, and she's able to make a just decision in any situation. If your intentions have merit, she will know. The Icethorn Prince is the most powerful lord left amongst the Unseelie, and is feared even by his own kind. Him and Nimue have long been bitter rivals, so he might be willing to support you. But be careful how you address him, for his patience is short and his wrath is great. The challenge of spirit and soul is a magical duel of sorts. It is fought in the halls of the Fading Tower with special magical items. The loser is magically bound to fulfill a single command of the winner. Thus, you could command Nimue to tell you where Merlin is. However, such a duel is very difficult, so you would be wise to seek help. The Fading Tower suppresses most magic, but some rare artifacts retain their powers even there. I know of only one person who might have something like that, namely the Beggar King. He is a powerful faun, a trickster by nature. He was named so because he never seems to have anything, but he has even tricked she-lords into giving him their prized possessions. He will no doubt have something that can help you, but the price might be quite steep.
Wait!
The seer says.
Take my journal with you. It contains my thoughts and observations since the time I began to live among the Sidhe. I do not need it anymore, but you can learn a lot if you take the time to read it.
You return to your temporary home and think about what you've learned so far. There is still much to do before you can challenge Nimue. Who would you like to visit next? The Crystal Tower of the Icethorn Prince is almost like a fortress within a fortress, and is surrounded by elite Sidhe guards. The prince receives you in his frosty throne room, gives you a hard look, then rudely asks the reason for your intrusion.
Ignorant half-blood, I should freeze your soul where you stand. You are lucky I have need of your rare lineage, he yells. The North Wind is my birthright, but Aeslin, the Lord of Winds, refuses to bow his head to me. If you defeat him, I might consider granting you my boon.
The defiant fool retreated to a place where no human or she may enter. That is why you are lucky to be none and both of those. You shall take this runestone to his realm, open a gateway for my soldiers, and then lead them into battle against the usurper. Now, be gone!
You return to your temporary home and think about what you... The Emerald Lady looks every bit as mysterious as her reputation suggests, and her sparkling gaze seems able to read your very soul. Her voice betrays no emotion as she listens to you. Then she quietly asks a simple question. What do you hope to achieve by Nimue's defeat? Revealing your true purpose can be dangerous, but knowing when to do so is the mark of a strong mind. I thought you to be such a person, she replies after considering your answer. Very well, Morgana Le Fay. I shall support you, But your request has to come at a price. There is a place in Wales that you know as the Lost Monastery. There you will find Oberon's crystal, which you shall bring back and present to the Twilight Council as payment for my help. It is a dangerous task, but such is the appropriate price for your request. I shall cast a spell upon you, she adds, that will conceal your presence from the worm's eyes unless you venture too close to them. It will protect you long enough to complete your task, but it will expire once you do. You return to your temporary home and think about what you've learned so far. There is still much to do if you find the faun near the Mystic Pond, at the hub of Veraconium. He sits casually on a mossy stone, with a flute in his hands, and a broad, sly smile across his face. He listens to your request politely, then makes a theatrical gesture. Fair lady, all I have is my flute. It can break harmful spells, true, but its music is what keeps my spirit whole. Without it, my spirit will crumble. Something must keep my dreams alive until I make a new flute. The faun grins and answers in a rhyming riddle. Just something small, nothing you'd miss. All I am asking is a gentle kiss. If that is too much, a few tears will do. Out of your heart, sad but not blue. I'm not greedy, don't want to feast. I need yesterday's memories, at least. As you say the words, memories start to flash before you. Then you feel them slowly fade from your mind. You realize you're not just sharing them, you're giving them away, but it's too late. The faun smiles at you once more, then disappears in a flash, leaving his flute behind. You return to your temporary home and think about what you've learned so far. You now know what tasks you must perform before you can challenge your master's kidnapper. You leave the Crystal Citadel and return to your army to continue your journey.
Ah, how I despise those riddles and rituals that the Sidhe consider politeness. That miserable gathering pretends that they are not refugees stranded among the mortals, and expect me, Morgana Le Fay, to dance to their tune before they will help me. I cannot tell you how greatly this infuriates me, but I must please both courts. I must retrieve some petty artifact from a monastery in Wales for the sealing, and the Unseelie Court has asked me to clean up a mess of their own making and kill one of their own who has turned against them.
Yes, my liege.
Did you have any idea, son of Arthur, what you brought upon us when you barged into our sanctuary, rendering it vulnerable to all manner of wickedness? Things have changed for the worst in Glastonbury, and the Fomorian plague has crept into the monastery. There were 2 other apprentices with me, and now Castor, who is an idealist and a fool, mind you, but that doesn't make him any less dangerous, has succumbed to the illness that is turning Glastonbury into a beast's nest. Help us destroy the possessed before Glastonbury falls.
Ready to serve.